is him, right? It's not me. Now he muted. You muted, man.
He's
Unmute yourself.
muted. Hey everyone, it's
Come
your
on.
favorite gentleman, Marcus of the Gentlemanstyle Podcast Show. How you all doing tonight? Technical issues. That's what happens when you go live. I'm a little out of practice. I appreciate you guys staying tuned. But welcome to the Gentlemanstyle Podcast Show. I'm your favorite host, Marcus, and I have the lovely, incredible to my left.
It's Carmia Wells and Unorthodox Southern Belle.
What good? You on them gummies again, man?
And I have a very special guest. We invited a very special guest. You know him. You love him. The man, the myth, the legend himself, the host, CEO, and founder of Same Difference.
Yeah, what going on? It's your boy Josh from the Same Difference Podcast. One half of the team there, and I'm so glad to be here. Thanks for inviting me. I think this is going to be another dope conversation.
Absolutely. We're excited to have you. Thank you all for being here. Thank you, Josh, for being here and saying yes. You've been killing the game, and I want to say to you publicly, I tune into every show. I try and tune into every episode. I try to comment. I try to critique. You are killing the game. You got these other VI podcasts in a chokehold, man.
I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Especially every Sunday. Zulima, you need to pay this man. Or what's her name? Not Zulima. The radio show. The radio show needs to pay this man. They need to cut the check for your boy. Cause he killing it out here.
Hey, thank you. Every time we do a show, I hope to get better. There's a lot of practice because this is gonna be the third year of the Same Difference podcast, and yes, we do live stream through 101.3 Raw FM, number one station in the U.S. Virgin Islands. We're growing. I don't know about having all the rest of the podcasts in a chokehold. I would like better production, but I think we're doing pretty good. Our stuff looks good. I like to put in effort, and I like for the content. I like to do content that matters. I don't want to be talking about no BS. I like good conversation. I think that we have enough podcasts where it's just people smoking weed and talking. I want a little bit more than that. So
yeah, that ain't helping nobody. I quickly swipe left on those shows. So again, great job on your, and again, I'm super proud of your co-host Nisi. She got her official designated name. Glasses, official glasses. Finally, it only took 12 years.
Crucian girl Nisi, she's finally stepped out of her shell. It took a while for her to get out of her comfort zone, but now she have her official logo. She really is a personality now. You know what I'm saying? So I stopped pushing, and then she just came around one day and was like, "Hey, let's go live." I was like, "Who are you?" So yeah, she here now. She here now.
Carmia, I love it. I love everything you're doing, big bro. Super proud of you. Carmia, the lovely Carmia Wells on Orthodox Southern Belle here. We are here tonight. Also, by the way, this is our call-in special. So the audience members can call in and interact and enjoy the conversation with us. They can join in, give their points, make counter arguments if they like, if they see fit. Right. If they disagree with anything that Ja or Camille says, then call in and disagree.
Or Marcus says. Hey, also, I'm sorry, I don't want to cut you off, but also I do want to shout you out too, bro. You're doing great. I be seeing all these clips you got. Y'all, you and Carmia have a great show. Also, y'all doing big things, big numbers, and you have on guests. Y'all cover the business side of things, like the more serious side of things, very well. So I want to applaud you guys on that as well.
I'm so proud. I'm so proud of where we've grown. I'll never forget the day Carmia, I think I was sleeping, Carmia, and she Marcus, I got the comedian.
I got comedian.
Michael Boysden, the famous. He was in the Baisden. He was in St. Croix. He did a comedy skit. with Sai and them and everything. And Carmia called his manager,
Hmm.
and Carmia was like, "Yo, what's the link? Yo, what's
That's
the
what's up.
what? Yo?" And so super proud of the push. Carmia is always coming with the tea, and she's been phenomenal. And I'm so glad you're here, Carmia. You
I'm
are
happy
fantastic.
to be here. Thank you for letting me come on. Get
Hey,
right on the bus and out the
you
back.
facts. You know what's funny though? Like we
What?
both have female Virgo co-hosts. If you want something done right, you gotta let a woman do it. So hey, shout out to all you the co-hosts killing it too.
Shout out to Macy. Shout out to Macy.
Yes.
In- Incredible. So, what we are here talking about today is the topic of Gen Zs. They are not doing well. They are not thriving. Gen Zs versus millennials. And so, I want to start it off with this one clip that this lady by the name of Lucy Pearl on TikTok, Lucy Pearl 726. She talks about this subject, and I tend to agree that Gen Zers are not doing well. They're not showing up in the workforce. They're not performing. They're not killing it. They're not go getters. And I see it with people younger than me for sure. And they're just like they show up to a job interview. They're not dressed appropriately. They show up to they're not dressed appropriately. They got a bonnet on. They got the pink wigs on, the pink weave on, and they're not killing it like they used to. Compared to when I went into the job market, I was ready to go. I was ready to
Yeah.
go. I wore my tux, my high school graduation tux, to my first job interview and got the position because I
Okay,
didn't have
okay.
any suits available. So tune in, y'all. Take a look at this.
Being unemployable. And I'm 100% sure that is true. The video I made about No Child Left Behind being the worst thing ever happened to this country, all it does is piggyback off of that. I have seen for myself people who come into interviews late if they show up at all. I have seen people come in with their parent. I have seen people come up in pajamas. I have seen people in the middle of an interview ask if they can call their mother so she can explain the question to them or give them an example. I have seen people with no education, and I mean none, no education past high school, demand higher pay, higher benefits, like more leeway, and you don't even have the education to back that up. And it's all because these children are so entitled and they're not used to working for anything. I said that in my video about No Child Left Behind. These children have been set up for failure. And the sad part is these are the same children that are about to be running this country. It is people who literally are spoiled brats. They feel like they are entitled to everything. And I'm going to tell you right now, it was No Child Left Behind. It was parents. There was a whole lot of things contributed. You know, most schools have a uniform policy, whether they wear a uniform or they wear regular clothes, but a skirt has to be so long, or, you know, they can't wear certain things on their shirts or whatever it may be. And every single school that I know of has bent those rules because children just will not follow them. And they're not following them because nothing is enforced. Nothing is enforced. They can come there with a skirt too short and they're going to let them stay. They can come there with vulgar stuff on their shirts and they're going to let them stay. There is no consequences for anything that they do. And parents go right along with it. They go along with it. I have seen parents literally fight for foolishness with their child versus telling their child that they are doing wrong. I have seen a child come to school with a skirt damn near till you can see her ass cheek. And the parent is arguing that it is her right to wear what she feels comfortable in. And I literally, it sickens me that parents are this fucking stupid, that they want to be friends with their children so bad, that they want to be so cool with their parents, that they are allowing their children to be set up for failure. A lot of these children need to be retained. When my child was in 5th grade, I had a child who I knew was not ready to go to the 6th grade. And I fought tooth and nail to have him held back. And it was a fight, but I finally got it done because I knew he was not ready. A lot of these parents are fighting for them to go forward, knowing they're not ready. Y'all know they're not ready to go to the next grade, but you're okay with just passing them along. And the sad part is when they get out of high school and they can't read, they can't write, they can barely do math, then the world says, okay, figure that shit out on your own because now you're an adult. And it's not fair to the child.
So, who wants to go first? Who wants to tackle that question first? My thing. First off, let's put the definition out
It's a
there.
lot. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's a lot.
let's put the definition. A millennial, the birth year of a millennial, anyone born between the ages of 1981 to 1996. So I am a millennial. I was born in 1987. Gen Z was born 1997 to 2012. And so for me in that time frame, I was hustling. I was getting it. I was going at it. I knew I had to dress up for my interview. I worked at the ice cream shop in Sunny Isles. And the reason why I got the job is because I dressed to impress at that interview. But that's not happening today. That's not occurring anymore. What was First off, where did you guys fall in age wise? Are you a millennial? Are you a Gen Z? You in the audience? Are you a millennial? You a Gen Z or a boomer baby? And we got any boomers in the audience?
I am a millennial. I'm more closer to the 1997, but at the same time, in that video we just saw when she was speaking regarding the parents, that's like we talk about, that's the foundation. It starts at home.
Mm.
It starts at home, even though parents like to just send them to school and expect the school to do it all sometimes. Not saying everyone does that, but the foundation starts at home.
Facts.
I am a millennial. I'm one of those guys that actually have been through a lot of the changes, like when the internet was first coming around, when the internet was actually delivered to your house. I was there, so
You
I've
talking about
watched
the
it.
floppy, the AOL?
Yeah,
Hey,
yes,
woo,
yes.
dollar.
When the internet was delivered to your house, you had to work hard to watch porn. It took 5 minutes to download some boobs. I was there, right? So I watched it all this time come up to where it is and where our children are now. So this is a lot to unpack. But what I
Yes.
will say, first and foremost, like what Carmia said, right? The parents. It all starts at home. I think I hope that you're gonna go into what No Child Left Behind was, because I tried to read into it a little bit. What I want to say first, I am not a SME. I am not a subject matter expert on this. I just kind of watched some videos and looked into it because I was in my late teens when Bush was in office. First of all, Bush was like in my era, he was our first not intelligent president.
Mm.
He was clowned all the time for being, slow. So being that he was the one that enacted No Child Left Behind, being that he's kind of a nepo baby from a rich family with a big name, I think the intentions were there. And back in that time when they put it into place, it was a more bipartisan movement. Even though those same Republicans, of which he was a party member of, those same Republicans have been trying to get rid of the Department of Education forever. So I think the intention behind it, which was to standardize the tests and to hold the schools accountable. So maybe if there's more pressure put on the schools and the teachers needing to be more qualified, that they would then get on the students. But you cannot have a real effect on any of that if you don't partner with the parents. The parents is where everything happens. At home is where, most of the teaching, the instruction happens. Most of those soft skills about how to deal with people and all of that stuff, it's your parents that's supposed to instill that in you, to respect adults and listen and sit down. It's supposed to be reinforced by the time you go to school. So when overall the act was put in, I think it was well-meaning, but the parents were not there to go ahead and look into it. And like Camilla said also, I think, or the lady in the video was talking about, parents can't be enabling their children to, like, their children are doing bad. The teacher tells them, and this is something because I have teacher friends that they complain about all the time. They'll bring the parent in for a conference or something like that. Either they won't come because they got work, or they come in and then they enabling the child and they talking down on the teacher. Oh, it must be the teacher, and the teacher got to prove that your child got an F because they didn't do the work. Like, this is their grades. This is how they got them, by not doing the work. You know how pissed I would be to have to prove why your child got a 33?
Well, with the, I'm just gonna let people know, with the No Child Left Behind Act, it was signed into law on January 8th of 2002 by President Bush. It was aimed to close the achievement gap in education by increasing accountability for schools and providing more flexibility for states and school districts. With this particular situation, it didn't help. It definitely hurt us. It definitely hurt our society, because it seems like with that, and y'all, you can correct me if you guys feel like it, when I'm saying this wrong. I feel like they're putting children in a position to get a participation trophy for just coming to school, but not necessarily learning what they need in order to go out into the real world. Like, well, we're happy you're here. We're going to keep on passing you along, whether you actually get the material or not, whether you actually have the foundation or not. So when they get out into the real world, like the woman said on the video, you're an adult now, you got to handle that. That's not like a you problem, not a us problem.
Incredible. I agree with the points made. I also feel like one of the things in the introduction of the No Child Left Behind Act, it required annual standardized testing, set an ambitious target for 100% student proficiency in reading and math by 2014. Standardized tests, in my opinion, has never been a way I learn. And that a standardized test that are you teaching me memorization, or am I actually learning the material? And I think you can't go through life memorizing every scenario. One of the things that I talk about, I've said this on Ja's podcast, great podcast, is that one of the best skills that my parents instilled in me and Ja instilled in me, because I was private school, and then I would go visit my mom and Ja on the weekends, and then Ja would give me the School of Hard Knocks. And he would be like, yo, you never kissed a girl? And I'm like, no, they got cooties. So Ja gave me the School of Hard Knocks. Meanwhile, I'm going to a Baptist school on the weekdays, and I'm praying, and we got Bible study. And so, but No Child Left Behind, standardized test is not the way. I can't memorize my way through life. And so seeing Ja grow up and having that education, it made me realize that I need to be able to think on my feet, because nothing that's going to come at me in life is going to be easy or standard. Hey, you do this, it's going to happen to you this way. This is what you do. Sometimes it's going to fall off the rails. It's not going to work. And then that's when these kids crash out. They need anxiety. They need all the drugs and medication to stabilize, because there was no test on this. This wasn't on the test that I took. You can't memorize your way through life. And I think that caused the biggest harm, because we were trying to be competitive with Japan and all these other countries in math and reading. And still today, we still have the lowest math scores and still have the lowest score and reading scores to date. And that goes for April Gilmore. Am I wrong? We have a teacher in the audience, but I think my dad was an educator. Both my parents were educators. And it's like, we're not getting better. We're getting dumber.
As far as the standardized testing, like, look at the goals that they set, right? 100%. 100% for every single school, right? And then they cater to specific demographics. How do you shoot for 100%? Then cram the classrooms 30 to 40 deep with children. what happens throughout the year? So of course, the already overwhelmed teachers, they're they receive a curriculum. They're not even allowed to structure a curriculum based on their class or none of that. They're given one that the state has already said, this is what you get. This is what you do. Teach to this. So then they start teaching to the test. But what about the rest of the stuff that I need to be learning? Where does that go? Because you can't fit all of this in the standardized test. And another issue is with America, right? America and Americans tend to wrap themselves in the warm blanket of American exceptionalism. We're number one in school shootings, 38th in math. They say you shouldn't cheat off anybody else's paper. However, you have all these other countries doing better than us in reading and math. Why don't we, instead of believing the lie of American exceptionalism, why aren't we copying what they're doing and then integrate it into our system? Why didn't we do that? You have the blueprint already. There's other countries that are doing better than us statistically. Why don't we use some of their strategies? No, because America, all of a sudden, America's way is better.
Mic drop. Mic drop. That's so real. That's so real. That's so real. I I've always been I've always wondered why we always got to pick and choose, right? Democrats, Republicans. Why can't we take the best of this, the best of what this country is doing? Hey, this country already here has already figured out universal income. Um, Japan is killing it in the technologies and science. Why can't we all work together and pull pieces from each other and support each other? No, I gotta be the best. I got a claim to fame. I got something to prove that I'm better than you.
It's not, well, my theory is it's not just about being the best, but it's always going to be that case of it's going to be we're going to have that situation where it's always going to have to be it's always going to be a money thing. It's always going to be someone at the top who's over everything. They're going to need some people who don't have as much education. Like, say for example,
I don't have no money. America does not have any money.
yes, we are in terrible debt, but no, but everyone isn't. You're going to have the 1%ers who are going to have it, and they want to continue being rich. And who are they going to make the money off of? They have to make the money off of the people who don't have the knowledge, so who's going to keep on continuously working for them,
Right.
somewhere in that line. So they're going to keep that. Of course, they're not going to give us a chance to be like other countries. They're going to be like, okay, we have to keep these people separate. We got to have the high class. We got to have the middle. We got to have the low. That's just the way it's going to be.
Absolutely.
So in this case, with the less knowledge you have, they know for sure. Well, they believe they know for sure. Like, okay, these are the people that's going to be working all their life to keep these people up here on top. Keep the money coming in for generations to come for them, and they're just going to continue to work themselves into a grave.
Agreed.
I want to ask you both, right? And I need some expertise from you guys. So I'll start first with me, right? The question is, why did millennials enter adulthood with grit, and while Gen Z entered with burnout? For me, my drive and my tenacity and my go get it done attitude came from my parents telling me no often. Dad, can I have McDonald's? No. Dad, can I have the latest shoes that I saw today at school? I saw them with the latest Air Force Ones, the latest Timberlands, and I need a pair so I could be in the it crowd. And he was like, no. So eventually, what happened is I got tired of hearing the word no, and I just said, you know what? Let me go get a job. And at the time, Ja was working at Plaza Extra. He was a bagger, and he was making all the money.
Putting me out there.
And so me looking up to my older brother and saying, he getting it, he got shoes, he got the stuff. I convinced my dad. I had the whiteboard and everything. I said, Dad, the mathing, I need these shoes. I can pay for it. All you got to do is drop me off and I can catch the bus home. You don't even have to pick me up. I got a job at bagging groceries at Plaza Extra. And that sparked the initiative for me to, I've been working since I was 10 years old. And that sparked the grit and the fire for me to work hard. And I saw the outcome of working hard. My first night bagging groceries, I made $100 in tips. And for a junior high elementary student, that's a lot of money. $100 in tips in one night, one day. I made $100 in tips, and that was a lot of money. What was the kickoff for you guys that made you realize I gotta go out and hustle because nobody gonna give it to me?
For myself, it was a case of I came from a pretty, blessed family, well, a family, but at the same time, I like the feeling of having my own and nobody having control over my, excuse my language, I ain't gonna do that. No one having control over my stuff, because as long as it's mine, it's mine. I make this money, so it's my coin, and I'm able to, control it how I need it, etc. There's nobody who could tell me, no, you can't have that. I tell myself that, not you. That's how I moved.
Ja, when did it kick off for you?
All right, let me go back to the question. So for me, right, I grew up broke. That formed a lot of my later years because like me and you grew up in essentially different household environments, right? Even though they came together, we were in different settings. So I heard no all the time. The no came with I ain't get no money. So I had to make do with what I had. You know what I'm saying? And that, in a sense, toughens you. I remember the first place I worked because I wanted money. We offloaded, we offloaded for H&H Tire. We offloaded a
Mm,
trailer of tires,
mm.
right? And I was 13 or something. Listen, if you've never done
Uh,
this, just picture
wow.
high 80-degree weather. You have a whole trailer to offload, jammed from the front to the back of tire. This is Charlie. They need to okay. So from the front to the back of the trailer, right, is nothing but tires. They start small out when it gets to the back, it's monster truck tires. And I was doing this all day. They paid us $20.
What?
Those kind of experiences is what formed me and made me tougher. Now, I'm a millennial. Me going through hearing no all the time, we ain't got no money, riding a power wheel little bicycle to go to the local neighbor's house to buy cigarettes and back, catching bus at 8 to get groceries and have to come back with the correct change. I've been no, this real. This
It's
real.
real life. It's
No,
real
It's
talk.
no.
real. I
I'm gonna
ain't
tell
even
you
like
after you finish. I'm gonna tell y'all that correct change is something, because my dad is
yeah.
military. He'd be like, "Look, bring me back my correct change."
The exact change. The exact change, and it need to be
Or
right.
else.
So having to do that, catching bus. I was catching the bus by myself at 8 year old, carrying groceries, walking everywhere, doing all of that. That toughens you up. But in
Yes.
essence, I knew this is some stuff I don't want my children to do though. So now me going through it, I'm trying to make life softer for my children, which softens them up, right? So now me who's hard, I'm having to relate to children that are like more entitled because they've had more and heard no less,
That's why you got to create that balance.
which is hard to do because you're this your first time being a parent. You know what I'm saying? No matter
Yeah.
how many children you have, every time you have a new child, that's a different child. So they're gonna get a different you.
Personalities change, their aspirations change, going in completely two different directions.
But
Yeah.
time too, you gotta think about it. You're in a different place if you have a child at 20 than you have a child at 35. You're in a different place mentally, you're in a different place physically, you're in a different place financially. So that child is gonna get a different version of you. And all throughout that time, You know what I'm saying? Like you're adjusting, you're learning things. And oh, your first child, they call the experiment baby. The second one, you're a little bit more relaxed. Like all of that stuff, you're training these children. So no sibling even has the same version of you. And then you send them to school and you're dealing with them differently, even when it comes to school. But
So so
go ahead.
it made you tougher. Why would you not want your children to experience that?
It made me tougher, but I hated so much of it. Like later on in life, I figured out a child should not offload a trailer of tires and get paid $20. Come back tired, like you paying bills in the house, and all you could do is sleep. The next day you sore, like you're a grown man. No, and
Lifting
imagine
with
that
your
when you start
knees, not with
early,
your back.
man, and that's why my back hurt now. And then you start early, and then by the time you're 18 and 20, all you know is working. That's burnout for real.
Hmm.
Absolutely. How do you
Yeah.
guys feel in the comments about your child working? One of the things I've heard so many things about it is like, do you agree? My child needs to get it because I got it because in my mind, I'm raising you to be a productive member of society. I need you to understand that if and when your mom and I decide to pay for stuff, I need you to have a comprehension and a value
Right.
to that dollar. And I need you
You
to
want them.
understand that that money did not come easy. How do you guys feel about that, Carmia? What I think it's. I hear you, Ja.
Ha-
Go ahead.
Having the value of a dollar is important because Ja, you was doing that with the tires for $20, but I was earning thing. No, my siblings and I, we was going out like we was on a couple acres of land, working outside to earn not even money. We doing it. He would be like, if I'm outside, y'all outside. Don't matter how hot it is. We just out there doing yard work, serious yard work, whether female or male, outside, and we're learning how to earn things. But you want this, you're going to earn that. Having the value of a dollar is important because some kids or some kids that I know now, they just have their hand out thinking that it just falls from the sky and they don't have to do nothing for it. Just because they exist, I should get it.
No, if you start, okay, so think about this, right? That's why the time difference matters. Because if you think about it, when your parents or your grandparents worked in that same field, they didn't have the machinery that you have.
Right.
So which parent gonna be like unless you really just want you just want to teach them a lesson. You're gonna be like, nah, you ain't using that tractor. We ain't had it in my day. Here's a rake. Go do the whole thing. Like down the line, it's gonna get easier. Like I had to physically go and do applications when I was looking for jobs. You do that now, they're gonna look at you like you're stupid. Everything is online, it's already easier. So if you
Mm-hmm.
want them to work, like, okay, for me to learn stuff about finances, I had to deal with finances. Now my daughters can go online and go through an entire online training about finances. Just you know what I'm saying, and have cartoons and stuff like that that they could go through. There's entire like there was abcmouse.com when my daughters were young. Like that's a whole curriculum. For me,
Mm-hmm.
you have to go to school. You need to go.
and get the finance and talk to people
Exactly.
and go to the library. There you go. There's a buzzword.
T- tell
Yes.
talk to someone like a Gen Z, right? About balancing a checkbook. What? They don't even know how to sign their name.
They don't even know cursive. Already, y'all can't talk to me. Y'all
Like,
can't talk to me.
think about it. Talk to a Gen Zer about a check, writing a check in
They can't sign their
2026.
name on it either. They can't sign their name. You could put a whole paragraph in cursive right now. They're gonna look at that like that is alien knowledge. I have no clue what that
Why y'all writing hieroglyphics? I don't understand. Is this
exactly.
Spanish
That is
level too?
must come from Mars.
But
Never
but that would
met.
have been a whole personal finance class back in the day. It had home ec
Hmm.
classes back in the day. I don't know if they have that now.
They need
Now,
to because some of them are boiling hot water and burning down the house.
you
Miss
see,
Miss Siobhan
uh,
says, "I would not start my kid working so early. She does volunteer work for
yeah,
local organizations." Okay, okay. Why? Why? Okay. Why? What's the difference between volunteering for work and getting
I believe
and
to
getting if
me.
why volunteer versus getting paid? That
I feel
doesn't
like
to me. That doesn't.
volunteering is just. I feel like with volunteering, you're getting some foundational knowledge out of it, but you're not being paid for. That's the way I look at it when you're volunteering. You're getting foundation knowledge out of it, but you're not being paid for it. So you have to do it at pretty much if you're not doing it for the good of your heart, you have to find it somewhere down the line. It's like when I was in high school, they was like, okay, well you gotta do some volunteer work. It's a part of your credits in order to graduate. You had a lot of students who was like, why? I don't want to do that. It's like I got other things to do. Some people they saw the good in it later, and some of them still was sucking their teeth by the end of it. Some people get it, some people don't. Some people probably would have liked it better if they were paid for their time because they
Work
looked at it like I could be doing something else that can really benefit me right now.
that was the only way I was going. That was the only way I was going to work. Is if you pay. Volunteering didn't come important to me until I was after an adult. Until I was an adult, because please understand the relationship between volunteering. My volunteer time was with the church, and that was
Uh-huh.
true volunteering because that is the same thing that Ja was talking about. That's back breaking physical labor.
yeah.
Move this chair. Go stand at the door. Make sure you open the door for everybody. That was my volunteer, and that was a lot of it. And it was like our mom dragged us to church just so we could do all this physical labor. And then you tired, and I'm falling asleep during the service because I'm tired because you worked me like a dog to do all this prep work and break down tables and put up tables and hang drapes and put up flyers and pass out brochures and like
Y'all, y'all
before
probably sitting over
service.
there like God is not pleased with me
Do
being
you
But
tired.
do you understand why men are afraid of the church? And
I,
that's
I
a whole
think
nother
that
episode.
I
That's a
think that if
conversation.
you create two totally different people in a sense, though, when you volunteer, it's showing you service, being a good Samaritan, being some like a pillar in your community. Work creates grinders and hustlers. We see what hustle mentality does to a person, though. That's where burnout comes from. You
Hmm.
you when you volunteer, right?
Right.
It tends to people that volunteer and do internships and stuff like that, their family tends to have more money than the person who needs to work. And that's another thing. Work tends to be a necessity. So when you're teaching your child to volunteer and stuff, you're showing them to serve. You're showing them what it looks like when they don't need to work. They can actually provide services to their community. When you teach your child they need to work, you're teaching them you need money. You need money to exist. Go get the money.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
because when people,
Sorry.
boy, Marcus, you like cut me down. Uh,
My bad. You're good.
but with the volunteering part, I think for it to happen naturally, especially for young people, it has to be in a spot where they are interested in. Like, say, for example, for myself, I saw certain things that I felt like it wasn't right, and or people needed help and assistance. Like, say, for example, my mother, while she was living, she would donate as well as help out with a women's shelter for domestic women who went through domestic abuse, who were homeless, who had children and stuff like that. And I saw my mother doing it, but then again, I already had a heart in that type of those type of things and issues. So it's like, okay, when I got old enough, and even after she passed, I was able to go ahead and keep donating. And I went there to help and visit and just to show those women that you're not long, someone is here to help you, and there is life after this. So it's some people you gotta you have to lay the groundwork for the foundation to teach them to have some type of heart. Some people it's natural, and some people might not ever get it. I'm gonna be real with you. There's some kids that, I mean, some people my age at that time when I was doing it, they was like, "Why are you down there all the time?" I wasn't down there all the time, but just me being down there a couple of days out the week, or when I was off from school or working, they're like, "You down there a lot? What, they pay you?" No, I just go down there to help out, and they ain't doing. That's doing too much. But they didn't have a heart like I did. They wasn't interested in that. Maybe they will find. Maybe hopefully they found something that they can volunteer in to help out society a little bit more. If they didn't, to me, I feel like low key they're missing out. But hey, that's where I am.
Absolutely.
It's all about the foundation.
Foundation. Lay the core work, lay it down. We have another clip that we want to share here, so we can get into our next topic here. Let's see what she says.
Other Gen Zers will be like, well, I'm not doing extra work we're not talking about extra work. We're talking about initiative. The Gen Zers that people are talking about will be going into a job interview that's on the second floor of a building. They came in on the first floor of that building. They text the interviewer, "Hey, I'm here." Mind you, in the email, it said that the interview would be on the second floor of the building and it gave you the room number. But you decided to text the interviewer, "Hey, I'm here," instead of going to where it said in the email. But nonetheless, you text them, "Hey, I'm here." They go, "Okay, we're on the second floor in this room," per the email, obviously. You go to the elevator. Notice on the elevator, out of order. You text them, "The elevator's out of order." There's a stairwell right next to the elevator. You're an able-bodied person. You're not in a wheelchair. You're not disabled. You don't need the elevator. You can go up a flight of stairs. So they respond to you, "Please take the stairs next to the elevator." You respond, "Okay." You take the stairs to the elevator. You get up to the second floor. You go, "Which room?" Brother, this is the kind of shit that people demonstrate in the workplace. Like, it's that kind of thing that people are talking about with Gen Z is actually infuriating. And I know it to be true because I literally have lived that example so many times. I was working in a studio one day and the manager of the studio just asked, "Hey, at the end of the day, can you take your trash out? Because you're going to be here past the time of the custodial staff. So any trash that they don't get, please take it out yourself. Here are the keys to the trash corral. Please just throw the bags into the trash corral." So I tell the last three people who are there, because I'm leaving, the last three people that are there, "Hey, there's 2 bags of trash. Here are the keys. Please throw them in the trash corral." They go, "Oh, well, we don't know where that is." I don't know where it is either. But I do remember the manager saying it's in the southeast corner of the building, all the way on the bottom floor outside. I say, "Okay, well, this person said it's on the southeast side of the building, all the way on the bottom floor outside." I come back the next day. They say, "Okay." I come back the next day. Both trash bags are there. I text, "Why is the trash still here?" They go, "We didn't know where the trash corral was." Okay, fine. So I get the key. I go to Google Maps. I go to the southeast corner of the building. And mind you, Google Maps will show you where you are and which direction you're turning. I go outside of the building because it said it's on the outside of the building. I go outside of the building. I make sure I'm following to the southeast corner. And what do you know? There's the fucking trash corral. It's just that kind of shit where you are not even just being a basic functioning fucking adult.
I
Wait,
Go ahead. What?
the comment, I can't even say that's common sense because sense is not so common for people these days. When the information is given to you, and I've seen this happen too with Gen Zers, the information is given to you plainly, but it's like they're too lazy to actually look it up, refer back to their notes, looking at information. They want somebody to continuously tell them step by step, even though it's already been given. And that's what makes me think, oh, you somebody that you had to be told everything as you was growing up. step by step what to do, how to do it, even though they gave you the directions and you didn't, you whether you took notes or not, you did what you wanted to do, then you still kept on asking because you wanted somebody to verbally tell you each and every time, not taking the information in when it's given to you and reading it all the way through and be like, okay, this is direction, this, and this. You want some type of authority to tell you every step. And I just look at that like, oh wow, you ain't gonna be here long, baby. It's okay. You have to be here long, baby. It is all right.
Your thoughts, Ja, on what she said. Have you ever encountered that kind of just no comprehension? You gotta pinpoint stuff to like the nitty gritty. Other than, hey, I just need you to take this to the trash. Well, I don't know what the trash is. I don't have the key. Is it hot outside? Like, have you experienced that? Do you agree or disagree with what she said?
No, I agree. I
You
encountered it
agree.
today. I encountered it today. Um,
That fast.
yeah, I have a college age student, and we went to prep to sign up for her next semester, and like, yeah, I had to walk her through it, step by step, and I'm really realizing, well, it's a multi-tiered thing. First, I have to take some of the blame as a parent because, like I said, I've tried to make things easier for my children than it was for me. Another issue I don't think we give enough credence to or props to is the pandemic. I think that
Mm,
we disregard that Gen Z went through a pandemic in which 2 years of their formative years of social interaction while they were growing, they were told to stay inside, don't go around anyone else or you might die. I don't think I don't think we regard how serious that is, being that we've never really went through it as children. You get what I'm saying? Like, if you think about how one day they were around their friends, the next day it was everything is virtual, every single thing. There was no separation between outside life and inside because everything was inside and on a screen. I didn't realize how much of an effect it had on my children until my youngest daughter said that she felt like she lost 2 years of character development.
mm.
So what I understood from that, she lost 2 years of social interaction. And like, if you have any people that you know that like have homeschooled, you know that homeschool children are different from like, you know what I'm saying? Like they're different.
I heard they're
So,
better.
yeah, they
Don't do that.
their
Don't do that.
social interaction is not better. I would not call it better because the only people they've been around have been family members, and that's like taking your children out of Gen Pop. You get what I'm saying? Like
Right. Yeah.
these people is who you know how to interact with. And now I go with my daughter to buy food or something. We get to the cash register and there's anxiety there because interacting with other people, like she lost a lot of time of doing it. And then we have to think children spend a lot of time online now, being in personal space. That's why you hear so much about anxiety, social anxiety, and all that stuff when you didn't hear about it in back in the day, because we were always outside interacting all the time. If something bad happened inside, we were outside. But what happens when something bad happens outside and you have to stay inside
Mm.
for
That's
years?
that's fair. That's fair.
Mhm.
Strong points. That is fair. That's a valid point. This video is an old video that Carmia shared with me, but I think is relevant to this conversation because we've been harping on Gen Z, Gen Z, Gen Z. This woman, from the looks of it, is a millennial, and this is what she's going through now. You guys take a look. Tell me what you think in regards to Gen Z not doing well in life, in the job market. Here's a millennial that is crashing out in this picture.
To me now is being a female, married. I'm 37. I have two kids. They're 5 and 7. And I've been a stay-at-home mom for the past 10 plus years. I have no income. I have no money. I use my husband's credit card and I use my husband's money. And 2 weeks ago, he told me that he wants to move forward with divorce. And today, I literally like I use an American Express credit card for everything. It's got my name on it, but obviously he pays the bill. He told me he's gonna cut it off, and I gotta like move all the automatic payments and stop using it. And he said, you need to start using your own card now. What card? I don't have a card. That is my card. Terrifying. I mean, I feel like a little girl who needs their mommy because I don't know how to take care of myself. I don't like it's just terrifying. Terrifying.
So what happened here? Because she's 37, 10 years ago was 27.
Now you
And
know.
first off, it proves Ja's point, which is when you isolate someone, they don't know how to come back from that and they miss out on things. But 10 years ago, you were 27 years old and you don't know how to manage your finances, manage a household, manage and regulate and manage and be an adult. You were 27 when when you became a stay-at-home mom. So
Now you know, Marcus, that there's layers to that. There's layers to that go into the society, and also we got to take a look at certain societies. What's the best way to say this? The class, the race, the environment they come from. Because me and you had a conversation about how, like, say for example, there are certain classes and races that they, as women, they go to school for. Back in the day, they went to school for a certain reason, go to college for a certain reason, and it wasn't to get the degree. It would be great if they got the degree, but the main point was for them to walk out with a husband. Now, with that situation, I don't understand the mindset of going into a marriage thinking that you need to have some funds coming in for yourself just in case. But she put everything in that man's hands. Her whole life, everything in that man's hands. And that also goes back to what type of foundation did she come from? Did she come from parents who was the same way, that the father took care of everything and the mother had no job? She was a stay-at-home mom. She wasn't working. She didn't have any money either, and just put everything in the fate into the man's hands? Or was she at a point of, she went out into the world thinking that she didn't want to pay anything or do anything. I just want to be a house mom and stay home and let him handle everything, and just went along with that narrative. So it could be layers to that. From my understanding, even with that video, she was even, I can't say dumb, but what I'm going to say is that she decided to sign a very lopsided prenuptial agreement that got her even more into a hole. So that there's a lot of layers to that.
I wish they would abolish TikTok because I am tired of these story times. Because Jesus, there's like a bottomless pit of stuff that she left out of that story. Because I was waiting for her to say, like, why does your husband feel like you notice she didn't say why he wants a divorce. She didn't really give us anything. If you really dig into it, so he just woke up one day, says he want a divorce, stop using my Amex, use your own. After 10 years. that just she didn't say who did anything wrong or not. Like I don't even get the point of that video. She just came on to vent and say some shit, and it's annoying. First of all, white woman tears do upset me. It'll piss me off. Secondly, like what? Okay, 10 years.
Sorry.
10 years. She hasn't paid no bills. I feel like she's leaving out the part where she overspends, and that's why he cut her off.
Which is real.
That,
That is
Karen,
very.
Karen could go to hell. That's what I got. Karen could go to hell. I don't believe her.
There's so many. That's why I say there's so many layers to that. It, like you said, she couldn't be telling. She may not be telling everything because.
But Siobhan agrees with you.
No.
Siobhan Thomas said the exact same thing you
There
did.
are
There
a
are a lot
lot.
of layers there.
And we didn't get none. We didn't get any.
Because people say that the divorce came out of nowhere, or he asked for a divorce out of nowhere. There's stuff that led up to that. You can't tell me that they hit you like a bus just all of a sudden on a Sunday morning. Like no, there's stuff that led to that.
So what hit Gen Zers like a bus, right? What hit them where they can't function, they can't interview well, you gotta handhold them. What led to that? And again, we carved out one of them, which was I feel we genuinely said that the No Child Left Behind Act was a bad setup, and that is one of the big things that led to them now crashing out, not knowing what to do, and feeling like the world is my oyster. Everything will be handed to me in this order. So that's one of them.
Yeah.
But what else? You also touched on parenting. Parents are not involved in their children's lives. Well, how can you hold a parent involved when mom and dad are both working to church out a living so that you can thrive?
Exactly.
How can I be involved? That I think that's where that stems from. A lot of parents want the school to hey, I'm working hard, so you could go to school, and the school needs to give you everything because I don't have the time.
Yeah.
I think no one said that.
The schools are also getting rid of a lot of programs that they'll cut away programs that inspire critical thinking, expression, stuff like that. Like they tend to cut the arts and put more money into sports, which sports does instill teamwork and stuff like that. Cool, but it's still you being told what to do. Go out there, do this. So the critical thinking aspect out of schooling has been thrown away. And I think a part of that goes back to the standardized testing, because the teachers aren't allowed to really challenge their students. I think the challenge has been taken out. Way back when I was in high school, I had several teachers that would challenge you. I would do well in the class, and then others would fail. And it would be because I like the challenge, otherwise I'd be bored. But they're starting to take that away, even in college. Like when I go to college as an adult now, and I when you think of college, right, you think of a teacher and an auditorium full of students, and they're throwing out questions and you're having all these discussions. But then you get to college, and most colleges is just a teacher at a board and you know what I'm saying? Doing a PowerPoint presentation. It's not what I expected. And it's to the point where it seems like they're trying to create factory workers.
Yes. That's what I was speaking of in the beginning regarding, the decrease in knowledge. Like, hey, if you don't catch it, then you have somewhere to go, but you're going to be working on your life to the grave. So it keeps those higher ups where they are, and it keeps you where you're at. It's all a system. And with this No Child Left Behind, it made it. I feel like it made it worse, because we're seeing them go out into the work world. They're not able to navigate the corporate world well, and they come in thinking that, oh well, I'm just going to be given this because they did it to me in school. They passed me along in school. They just gave me this grade and passed me. They gave me this and passed me. So I should just get this, and that's not the way it works in the real world. but they won't get their hard hitting bus until they get out there. But by then, it'll be too late.
It's far too late. It's far too late. Throwing your child to the wolves and saying, I always hate the phrase, let a child be a child, or let a child stay in a child's place. And then 18 years go by, and now this child is supposed to pick up on finances. They're supposed to pick up on how to manage a budget. They're supposed to understand how credit cards work. I think I watch Bridgerton is one of my favorite series. And one of the things I appreciate in Bridgerton and Old English style is that they incorporated a lot of habits early in a child's development. Now, there are some things a child shouldn't experience before a certain age, but hey, legacy. You in those times, legacy was often discussed. Hey, you are the heir to everything your mom and I are building. I need you to carry yourself a certain way because we're working too hard for you to be fooling around and messing around. And I appreciate those things. And even and that's why I don't like, oh, let the child play, let the child run. No, I need you to have an understanding that you are going to inherit this kingdom here that I'm building, that we're building here. And I don't like those concepts of let a child be a child. They don't need to understand this. They don't need to be involved in this. No, you need to have those discussions and encourage that child's nourishment and development, because one day you, I, we, me are not going to be here. And I need you to have a grasp and understanding of what all of this means.
And I think people need to understand too, as well. They're going out into a world that's not their children. Your child is not their child. They're going out into a world where you better get it and get it now, because I'm not going to help you get it. And people are now, not every Gen Z or not every child is being taught like this, but I'm seeing a lot of, well, I had it hard, I don't want them to have it hard. You're going to have to teach them some hard stuff, because out there, they're going to drag them. If you do not teach them some foundation knowledge and how to, navigate, the world is going to drag them. And they're going to be looking at you like, Mom, Dad, why didn't you tell me? I'm going through this right now, and I don't know how to navigate this. Because that real world out there, they don't have any sympathy. They're not going to be kind. They're going to tell you once and say, get it or you're out of here. I've seen it happen, and it's not a pretty sight. But they expect you to have that knowledge, and like, we're adults. Hopefully you get it. If you don't, that's not my problem. That's a you problem, not a me problem.
Facts.
It's so many issues. I think it's impossible for us to even hit all of them because it's a strange mix, right? Like it's a very multi-tiered issue with even more tiers from there. Because Siobhan had an important point that I'm surprised we didn't even touch on. We should have. They got the smartphones. They got access to a wealth of knowledge that we had to work for. Even to get information, we had to research. They don't have to, and they carry around. It's a terrible thing. They carry around a supercomputer in their pocket, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then we're convinced in America to fill that supercomputer with bullshit. Fill it with social media to occupy your time. Fill it with games. Fill it with AI and stuff. But don't use AI to like figure anything out. Use it to do the work for you. Like you have access to this thing that is literally draining your water and access to a supercomputer full of servers, right? But if you have a question about what do leopards sound like, use the AI. But when you need to research some shit, just ask somebody else. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what they're doing. And we're in a strange time to where our generation and the generation before us, we're trying to give advice for a time that doesn't exist. You have like our parents, they're living in a time and they don't even want to get to know the smartphone or learn how to work any other technology. Like they're burnt out with technology. We're kind of navigating an in-between place and trying to show them while growing up. It was harder for us, but you're in a different time that I don't even like it for real. But here's some information.
So So I've heard. I feel I'm conflicted because I think ChatGPT and artificial intelligence is a good thing. I think ChatGPT is going to make children and even us better in competing against others in the job market, in business. I'm conflicted.
It's
I do
helpful.
but I also hear you. Like everything you gotta look on the phone for, there's no baseline knowledge. There's no starting point where your knowledge begins or ends where you like, okay, I can just recall this, or I know this because I've studied it or I've learned it and I've acquired and or even mastered this thing. So I'm conflicted on that. I do feel there needs to be some controls. One of the things Kamala Harris said was we need to don't, or was it Kamala Harris? Somebody has said, hey, we shouldn't allow smartphones up to a certain age. Like a child shouldn't be allowed to have a smartphone in like when they're 12 and 13 years old. Now I hear the parents screaming in the back room
12 and 13.
like there's
Good
7
luck
years
with
old.
that.
There's and that's the problem. It's like how am I going to communicate with my child? I need to be able to access my child. But I also hear the other side of the coin is like what you just said. You think it's a bad thing for them to have this technology in their pocket.
12 and
Well,
13, I think, is way too late because by then they're already immersed in it. Like it's in school already. I
mhm.
think you're just putting them at a disadvantage. They should know how to use it already by then. Like I would have said maybe if they were like 3 or 4, but 12 or 13 seems like that's a lost cause. You might as well like put them on a
You're saying
Mormon ranch somewhere.
you said they're behind the curb at 12 and 13 years old
12 and 13?
because
That's
they don't
way
have
too
access
late.
to
That's
a smartphone.
being being that they're already in a technology driven world, I do understand where you're coming from, John, because by 12 or 13, it's too far gone. I could maybe see maybe 9, 10, but at the same time, we're
To
still
give them a
pushing
phone
it.
or not give them a phone.
I would say to let them be more free on the phone. I think parental control needs to definitely be there when it comes
Mhm.
down to these apps and what they can and can't do on the phone. But there's a lot of parents who's too, immersed in working and all that. They don't want to, do all that
Right.
as it is. But 9 or 10, maybe to actually let them have more freedom on the phone. But taking it, I don't know, taking it away from them fully, being that they are around a world that's controlled by technology, it's real iffy. We're not living in the same world we was when we was that age.
But I
and
also
that's what I was saying. Like you gonna wait till 12 or 13 when by 6 or 7 there's teachers who's teaching from something on a screen already when like they're issuing these things to children to do their homework on. I don't see how that's even possible unless you homeschool them.
I don't know any schools that I don't know any schools like that have integrated technology to that depth.
What?
Or
I don't know any schools like that.
oh,
Sir,
Growing up in the
sir,
Virgin Islands,
textbooks, what?
I haven't heard
Textbooks
that.
are a
what
thing of the
schools back home
past.
are,
I haven't heard a child yet that has said that they've had to actually carry a textbook to a locker and back. I haven't. I haven't heard
they're
somebody
not
say.
carrying textbooks anymore?
I'm not saying that they're not here anymore, but what I am saying, I haven't heard them say that. Oh, I have to go pick up my textbooks. I have to go
They get
pick up my book.
Chromebooks.
Exactly. Everything is through that now, or they're printing out some type of paperwork as worksheets off online to give to them if they have worksheets, which is, most of the stuff is done off of the Chromebook.
Yeah.
So why the hell am I still donating book bags to these schools?
Oh,
If
bless your
they don't have,
heart.
To
if
hold
they,
to hold a Chromebook.
wow, I didn't know. I
Yeah.
didn't know. And so Holly, that I'm sorry, I don't remember who said it. Don't hold me to Kamala. Don't
Yeah,
hold me
that's
to
a
Kamala.
high number. 12 or 13? That's a high
Yeah.
number, dog.
That's why
I
I
just
was saying maybe 9 or 10, but you could heavily have parental control a lot more prior to that, and still have it, of course, after that, and loosen it up around 9 or 10. But saying that, okay, here's your first cell phone, your first smartphone at 12 or 13, in a world that we're living in now, is kind of it's iffy. I'm
Why does a okay, I hear the point of being disadvantaged in school. What other reasons besides education does a child need a cell phone earlier than 12 or 13? Why does a 9-year-old need a cell phone? Who are they calling? Who are they? Are you not this? Why is my 9-year-old able to get on Uber Eats and DoorDash and call a taxi and call a smart? Why does my 9-year-old need to be on a smartphone?
For safety. Like you could keep track of and share locations with your child now. You could know where they are. Like Siobhan was saying, you could lock down
yeah.
the phone, put parental controls on it. So you could program how many numbers are in there.
Oh
Like
yes,
that's another thing. Children are not remembering numbers anymore. They don't remember phone numbers. They just
that is
have
so
them in their
true.
phone. Like that's not even a thing.
Like how we used to remember numbers because we
No.
had to, because we would use the house phone and stuff back in it. Like they don't know what that is. If you had to, like Ja, if your daughter had to call you right now and you'll say, well, she probably, hopefully she know that. Hopefully she know that. But if she had to call the house phone, if y'all got one, never mind.
House phone.
If,
What?
if
Millennials.
she had to call her friend or whatever and she doesn't have her phone, she probably doesn't know her friend number.
No.
All those numbers, we used to know it by heart. Our friends, our family, mom, dad, didn't matter. We knew those numbers by heart. Now they need a phone to look it up for people they talk to on the regular.
Okay. Okay.
We used, yeah.
I can see that.
Siobhan said she has a
Siobhan have
house.
a house phone.
It's okay. I said a house phone. John said a house phone. Oh, you too
Yeah,
good for a
like
house phone.
yeah,
Okay.
I'm not paying them people $10 just for spam. No, look, I might get one just because I missed hanging up on people. That was stress relief. That was
Dude,
beautiful. You
that in a
can't really
flip
hang up no
phone,
more. Yeah,
a flip
man.
phone
Clack.
automatic pop
Yeah,
couldn't do
yeah.
me. Nah, I'm not
Hmm.
doing. Get off my line.
Yeah, I think there's some things that I really wish would come back. Like I wouldn't mind a house phone or whatever. That would be cool, but like these children, they don't even know their own numbers. You know what I'm saying?
Mm,
Like they would have to go in their phone to find their own number.
What about the negatives about the technology? The same points you made earlier, Ja, about a phone and having a phone, the overstimulation, not
Yeah.
being able to sleep at night, having anxiety. Children are having younger and younger rates of anxiety because they're not functioning because that blue light is keeping them awake. All right. And I don't want to introduce it's like when parents give their children coffee. A child needs no stimulate. In my opinion, the children I grew up with needed no further stimulation. You do
Yeah.
not need to give your 9-year-old, your 7-year-old coffee.
Mhm.
And now we see the side effects of that. It's like now they're overstimulated, they have the anxiety, they need drugs to go to sleep because they're overstimulation and the negative side effects of having a phone. That's why again, 12 or 13 sticks out to me because I want you to, it's hard enough trying to get you to eat right and live right. Now I'm
Yeah.
going to put this technology in a hand that's overstimulating your mind. And there's parental controls, but there's still hackers can listen in. I remember that from the military. Your phone could be off and they could still listen in. Your phone can be compromised. There's so many other negatives to giving a child a phone.
My issue. Oh, you were
no,
asking
go
me,
ahead.
right?
Yeah.
Go
My
ahead there.
my issue with the current technology, I think at some point companies just gave up being innovative. Like when we were coming up, companies would continuously try to make their product actually better and smaller and smarter. Now they're just selling you the same product at a higher rate to make more money. They're not actually doing anything innovative. And then the products which like in the social media stuff is just to occupy your time. They're not actually innovating it or making it more user friendly. They just want you on there more so they could sell you more stuff. That's no good. Like America is behind in technology because the companies, the corporation just want to figure out more ways to get more money from you with the same product. Like Netflix just going up. They're not getting any better shit on there. They're just going to charge you more. They went up twice within the last year. What's on there? The iPhone. They give you 3 cameras, 4 cameras, make it smaller, make it bigger. It's shit. It's still the same shit. It's still green and blue bubbles. Like it's I got FaceTime. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's what the companies are doing now. The consoles, the game consoles, trash. The older ones were better because they wanted the games to be better. Like now they're just trying to figure out more ways to sell you the same thing. We went from cable, we tried to cut the cable to go to streaming. Now the streaming guys got us in a chokehold the same way. But it's not better.
True. You were gonna say something, Carmia. You agree, disagree on that technology is also hurting that 9-year-old child? You still
I
feel the
agree.
same way?
I still feel the same way. It's a slippery slope. It's really a slippery slope. It's really, because if you take it away, it's problems. If they have it, it's issues because they're already in a world they're surrounded by it, and there's things they're going to need, even though there's things that that they shouldn't be influenced by. It's going to happen. This is where I said, that's why I said that you have to have that foundation there, and the parents, the people in their household have really got to step in to assist and help so they can have that balance. Like, say, for example, Siobhan Thomas, she said in the comments, the electronics are off and placed in her bedroom at 8 p.m. She reads 30 to 45 minutes, tight program, strict program over there, baby. Strict program. And I love stuff like that because you have some type of foundation, you have a schedule, a routine, so they understand that, okay, it's okay to have certain things, but you don't need too much of it.
Yeah, and that's great that she's doing that. That requires a lot of discipline. It requires a lot of that's a whole nother job. You know what I'm saying? Like monitoring children and stuff like that. It becomes another job, and with how things are going, a lot of parents are getting less time with their children. Because if you think about it, they spend more time at school than they do in the house with you.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So it's a tight rope that we walk, and it's really a balancing act. So go ahead.
And Siobhan does that. Siobhan, you do that, Miss Thomas, you do that every night. Every night. You ain't exhausted. You ain't tired. You ain't burned out. Like
She
every
said
night.
it's strict over here.
It's tight.
It's strict over here. That's what she said.
And BQ said technology is the new God.
That's a fact.
Ooh.
That was on what was it? That Star show, American Gods. That was one of the new gods. It is because you're literally addicted to this thing. And it's not just the phone. It's the apps on the phone. And we don't care that they're tracing us. We don't care that they're selling our information. We don't care. Just give me TikTok. And then it's like they just had a whole Chick-fil-A staff. A whole staff laid off, fired from Chick-fil-A because of these damn phones and these apps that, okay, it doesn't matter what happened to me. I will get validation if I go viral. They don't care enough. Nothing told them, hey, maybe I shouldn't be bouncing my titties in a place like Chick-fil-A. I shouldn't be doing a bounce your chest challenge in a conservative Christian restaurant.
They brought
and
that
then the manager is the one who came up with the idea. What are you doing? It's these phones.
Popeye's behavior at Chick-fil-A is
it's these phones, it's these wigs, and these damn the bonnets. It's the wigs, the bonnets, and these phones.
Oh, you know you wanna mingle. This is so good, I should never be single. Oh, you know you wanna mingle. This is so good, I should never be single. He loved the way I throw it on the back hands down. Put it on a make her wanna wipe a bitch down. He loved the way I throw it on the back hands down. Put it on a make her wanna wipe a bitch. He loved the way I throw it on the back, throw it on the back, throw it on the throw it on the back, throw it on the back. Oh,
Fired.
you know you wanna mingle.
Fired. All of them.
They brought
gone.
that Popeye's behavior to Chick-fil-A and thought that was gonna be okay. Oh, honey,
Fired.
Fired.
For
All
that.
of the-
For that.
I don't
Dude
want my
was
child
a
seeing that.
manager.
I don't want my 9-year-old seeing that. I don't want
The
my
waffle
kids
fries ain't never gonna taste the same there. I promise you. On God.
The
Crazy,
Chick-fil-A thing, they
crazy.
want to bounce titties and get Sundays off.
And then the track that they used, it was the explicit version. Them white people ain't what? You crazy? You think this is what they want? These conservative white folks that close on Sunday and they're adamant about this. Y'all lucky they hired them niggas
Woo, child.
That was terrible.
And
to
you know,
bounce some
Chick-fil-A
titties.
is one of those places that pay pretty all right for a fast food
Yeah.
place. And you up here in them people doggone establishment acting up like this? Oh no.
And the manager.
I applied to work at Chick-fil-A. I didn't get selected. I didn't
But-
know. They didn't call me back. I thought I killed it. So
But Mark,
I thought I did
yeah,
well.
you ain't got what it takes. You ain't got what it
Apparently.
takes.
Woo.
But think about this. You telling me Chick-fil-A didn't get them training on what not to do with them phones?
they did. I'm sure they did.
Nah. They assumed that they knew what not to do and what to do with their own
Nah.
phones.
Nah.
They
They have a
assumed.
handbook. And I'm telling you, these companies, it's like if you pull out a template for a handbook of how to act in a company, so there will be a social media use part to it. I'm telling you, ain't no way. You telling me that Chick-fil-A does not have in their handbook that you shouldn't be making videos during work in uniform?
But
Wasn't there a girl fired? There was another girl who was fired because she was using TikTok and doing food critiques, and she was fired.
That was another girl at
That's
Chick-fil-A,
stupid.
I believe, that was
She was
fired
at
for that.
Chick-fil-A.
She
And she
worked
got-
at Chick-fil-A, and she was actually, it was positive. She wasn't up there cursing or anything of that nature. She was up there just, basically advertising the food. Because she
still
buy
got
the food
fired.
after, and then she still got fired.
Because there's a clause in their manual about
See?
social media.
See what I'm talking about? They're
The
a
whole-
franchise. You telling me they ain't thought about that when they created the franchise that, hey, maybe you shouldn't be making TikTok videos in our uniform?
Yeah.
It may not say don't do the bounce your chest, but I'm telling you, it's in there.
The type, and also I think what did it too, it wasn't just the making the video, but it was also the type of video that it was.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Different
who
service.
thought that this was okay? Especially
The manager.
The manager.
that may have passed at Popeyes, but Chick-fil-A, are you okay? No,
That's Waffle House behavior, man.
I don't
That's Waffle
want,
House shit.
yeah, I don't want toothless granny at Popeyes, Louisiana's best, shaking anything. I don't-
hilarious.
Listen, you know what to expect when you go to a Popeyes. That's what I'll say. You know what you expect when you go to Waffle House and stuff like that. I mean,
Yeah,
that's not what you expect in Chick-fil-A.
I play like Waffle House. You plan to see somebody twerking or something,
Yeah.
especially late at
And
night.
fighting.
So, twerking, fighting, good music. You gonna
Mhm.
get a meal and a show. That's you come to that time. That's what you're there for. That's what you're there for.
Yeah. Your bill is always gonna be different at Waffle House, but the food gonna be good.
That's true. That's facts. Hashtag facts. So this has been an incredible conversation. I need you guys' help. Leave a suggestion. Give a suggestion. You guys have shared so many nuggets. The audience has shared words of wisdom. What if you could give a piece of advice to that Gen Zer who's struggling, that young man who's like, man, I can't get no girlfriend, I can't get no job, I can't get no money, and I every interview I go on, no one's hiring me, and end it there. What advice would you give to that young entrepreneur, that young hardworking Gen Z who didn't quite get the tools? Is it go back to mom and dad and ask them for help? Is it get in a book? Is it put down the smartphone, or what? What would you say to that Gen Z watching you right now?
Find that trusted adult that you believe that has that knowledge, that actually has made it far and is able to give that knowledge to you and give it willingly, that you don't have to sit there and beg them for it. Find somebody who's able to actually be a mentor, not just anybody. And I'm pretty sure even at your age as a Gen Zer, you know exactly what I'm talking about, that you know that, oh, that person has it together. Let me talk to them and get what I need so I can go forward.
Absolutely. Ja, any advice?
I would say to the Gen Z out there, get outside and touch some grass, talk to people, do those things that you're afraid to do. The only way to get actual experience is to go out and experience things. Like, you need to get outside, and like, just because you feel some type of way about doing it or get you anxious, the only way to get over these things is to do it. You live once. You only live once, right? Experience life while you're here. Live it while you're living.
Absolutely. Great. My tip, my suggestion. Wow, I just cut my head off. My suggestion is great points, all of you. I would say to that Gen Z who's struggling, get a mentor, which is what Carmia said. Get someone, get some advice, get some tips, but also take some initiative. Go out, try. The worst, something that someone told me years ago is the worst thing that a girl could say to you is no. So ask her out. The worst thing that job can do, even if it's Chick-fil-A, is going to tell you no. That's the worst. So do it anyway. Do it scared, do it afraid, but do it. Do the thing. And if you're afraid, then do it afraid. But don't do anything. Because what you don't want to do is leave this world empty and unfulfilled and knowing you could have changed something and you could have done something about your situation today. So change it. Change for the better, change for tomorrow, and just change. Just because that's the only way it's going to improve. You have to make the difference. How's that? All right, y'all. We got to let these incredible people go. We got to let Ja go. I'm sure he has another show to jump onto. He's always doing something. He's always doing something incredible. Ja, thank you for what you do, brother. You're amazing, incredible. Keep killing the podcast game.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Go ahead and follow me at VI_very_own on the YouTube. The Facebook is Same Difference, 2 words, and the IG is at Same Difference 2022. The TikTok is at Same_Difference_pod. Check us out. We have the live episodes on the YouTube. This is even going up on our YouTube as well. All right. I love you guys, man. I appreciate the invite.
Absolutely.
Thank you for coming through.
Absolutely. This is dope, y'all. All right, y'all. We got to let these incredible people go. Carmia, anything you'd like to say to our fans or followers?
Take care of each other, because right now in the world that we live in, especially in our nation, we need it. At this moment, we are currently in war. So pray for our brothers and sisters who are out there, who are literally out there, and they are still being deployed. Because we're gonna need it. And I'm praying that we can hurry up and end this so we can bring our brothers and sisters back.
Absolutely. Go out and vote. All right, y'all. Like we end every show. Take care of your friends. Take care of your family. And always take care of business. This is Marcus, your favorite gentleman, and
Carmia Wells and Unorthodox Southern Belle.
And
Ja from the Same Difference podcast.
Love you guys. Bye.
Peace.